Hey everyone, Josh here. I just want to make a quick video. Really encouraging people to just take the camera, take a second, record yourself doing some workouts. Some of Vince's old exercises or Larry's old exercises. Let's get them out there. We're just at a spot in life where, I was thinking the other day, I'm no spring chicken. You other guys out there who were lucky enough to work out at Vince's gym and would have trained with Vince aren't either, right? So we're at a spot where we're in danger of losing some of this knowledge of the routines and the philosophy behind them and the science behind them that Vince would have used, right? That he would have handed down to all you guys. So I encourage you guys, just take a second, put it out there, and then you people that did train at the gym, take a second, just say, yeah, that looks like that's it, or that's how I used to do it, or looks nothing like it, and here's what I would change, sort of a thing. So just real danger of losing all this knowledge that was out there. A lot of people I've noticed on YouTube are, they might say they're doing one of Vince's exercises or Larry's exercises, but it doesn't look anything like what either of those guys would have taught, right? So, and I think it's just a telephone game. I think it goes from, one person trained it and taught it this way to this way to this way, and by the end, it doesn't look anything like what the original person would have said or how they would have trained it, right? So it's the same idea as that old telephone game that we've all played at one or another. So I'm encouraging everybody, just take a second, record it, put it out there. I recorded myself doing the body drag curl the other day, and a guy named Mike recorded himself doing some Gironda dips. And I know there's been others in the past. I just like to see more. And I look at these tribute sites, and it's a lot of photos and old photos and stuff that we've seen. We all enjoy those photos, but I just thought, man, it wouldn't be so much greater if we could just get some people doing the routine, so that knowledge gets passed down as well, so we don't lose it, right? So me myself, I was never able to actually train under Vince. I read his books, all his books, right? As well as everything Daryl's put out there, Robert's video. I mean, that was great to see Vince firsthand doing and training Robert, and getting a peek inside the gym, right? I always kind of wondered what it looked like, but myself, I never trained with him. Read as much as I can get my hands on, as well as kind of everybody from that era, from Franco to Bill Pearl to Dave Draper. I mean, I've read all their books and tried to digest a lot of it. I don't know why I'm sort of obsessed, I guess, with that era of bodybuilding, but probably, I guess, because of Larry Scott. I met Larry when I was about 10 years old. My dad owned a gym here in Ogden, and we were clients of Larry and his BioPhase company they had at that time, so we would use his computer program to kind of generate reports for our clients that we were training at the time. And it wasn't until later, though, much later in life, maybe my mid-20s, I started a new gym in Bountiful, Utah. It turns out Larry worked out there. And so one day I'm working out and I see this old guy. I didn't kind of put two and two together who he was, but really buff guy, t-shirt, kind of walking around. He had these funny little leather elf-looking shoes that he wore every day. But he gets up and does those close grip pull downs, and as soon as he does that, right, you see the bicep pop up that he's so famous for. And even I mean, he must have been, I don't know, 60s, maybe even mid 60s at the time. But yeah, maybe 50s. I don't know. He was pretty old though, but still, to have a body like that at the time was pretty amazing. And so it wasn't until later that day I kind of put two and two together when I saw him drinking out of a BioPhase water bottle, who he was. So I went and kind of introduced myself again, and remembered back home that he had given me a book back several years when I was just a kid. My dad was using the software. He had signed a copy of Loaded Guns for me. I still went home, pulled it off the shelf, and went through and started reading it. And at that point in time, I was heavier into lifting, I guess. So I took it to the gym and, of course, started trying to do some of his routines. And Larry would watch me, but Larry was very much, as I'm sure Vince was, right? You started the clock and the routine, and as soon as you hit the first curl, you had about 45 minutes to work out before you're going to lose that big spike in HGH. And so he was very heads down. He didn't talk to him. He didn't talk to anybody. He just worked out and got his workout done. He got in and got out of there, sort of thing. So he kind of kept to himself, but he was kind enough, kind of in the middle between two sets, to kind of, after watching me do this for 3 or 4 days the wrong way, he finally said, hey, you're doing that wrong. And so I can't work with you now, it's the middle of a workout, but stick around, and when my workout's done, I'll show you a few things. So He was kind enough to do that one day. It was the arm curls I was doing completely wrong, which you would think something as easy as arm curls would be hard to goof up, but I did. At any rate, that same scenario played out a few more times, and then finally one day he mentioned that he was starting a new training program where you could become a certified Larry Scott personal trainer, where he would teach you all of his methods and then you would train others using Larry's methods. So he made sure you kind of had his philosophy down on both the diet and the workouts and the movements and all that sort of thing, and you did it his way sort of thing. And so proud to say I was kind of the first one to go through that program, and so they worked with me quite a bit and helped me get dialed in, and I got a chance to kind of do that and then have him watch me train other people using those methods, make sure I was doing it right. And it was just a fun time in my life, and I want to make sure that I kind of pass that knowledge on. Some of the stuff I see the way Larry did, even the dips, for example, were different than the way that Vince had taught it. So I can't comment much on how Vince said to do it, other than what I've read in his books and his videos. But I can say that I know enough of the way Vince taught it and what I saw Larry do it and the way Larry taught it to recognize there's a difference there. And I'm not saying one is right and one's wrong, but it's just interesting for some people to know that there's a difference. So he used a reverse grip versus the other one, and it's just minor things like that, right? When he did the fulcrum push-ups, I know Daryl teaches to bend the knees, for example. Larry didn't bend his knees; he did them straight. So just things like that are a little bit interesting. That maybe I have some insight to that others don't. So I want to share that just to kind of help preserve his legacy. More than anything, he was such a great mentor to me that I want to make sure that I share that with others. So I encourage everybody to just get your phones out. Don't be shy. Take a second, record yourself, get them up here. I'll try to do a few more as well, kind of prime the pump, but I'm hoping others will join me in kind of getting this stuff on and help pass it along to the next generation. So this video here, I wanted to take a second, since Mike posted the video of the dips, which was awesome, by the way. Great form, really deep. I thought it was great. Somebody had posted that in the comment section that their gym doesn't have a set of V-bars, and I was asking if anybody had any suggestions. And I recall on one of Ron Koslov's videos that he had kind of a poor man's version that he made using the squat rack. So I'm going to show you that here in a second, as well as what the bars should look like. So give me 1 second, I'll flip the camera and we'll go from there. Thanks. So real quick, I want to kind of just show you what we're talking about, the V-bars that Vince would have recommended. These would have been pretty similar to kind of what he would have recommended. You'll see they get kind of narrower at the back, but then come out pretty wide. And what Vince recommended here was kind of this spot from at the very end here should be at least, I can't remember if he said 32 or 33 inches. I want to say it was 33 inches. And it needs to be pretty high off the ground, so you have the ability to go up and down pretty far on there. But again, not everybody's going to have access to a pair of bars like these. I will say on Larry Scott's bars, he used to manufacture these for a while. Unfortunately, I guess they lost the contract, or the company that was making their equipment for him switched owners, and so they're in the process of trying to find another vendor to make the equipment. If they do, I'd like to pick up a pair of bars. But Larry would make this top bar right here square, and the reason being is he used that reverse grip, similar to what, if you look at the Mike Jones video that he posted the other day, he's using that reverse grip that Larry was using, and that will sometimes cut into the palm of your hand a little bit, but not nearly as much if you're lucky enough to find a pair of these V-bars that have a square handle on the top. So kind of kills me. I wish they would have used this same square piece for up here, but I don't know why they went with the pipe here, but wish they wouldn't have. It would have been a lot easier. I guess maybe for the front grip as you go on, it's probably better if you're using a standard grip for that, but I kind of do like doing them reverse. I'll do them both the reverse grip Larry always talked about. Vince didn't teach it that way. He taught that you did them with a standard grip like you would with your normal dips, but he did a little kind of bounce thing at the bottom. Maybe I'll make a video on that someday. But anyways, back to my point here. Somebody asked, hey, what can I do if I don't have a pair of V-bars? This is an idea. This is a standard just power cage squat rack that you'll find at a lot of gyms. If you do happen to have one of these gyms, what you can do is you can take the bars here and set them up at an angle. You want on the far side, you would want the bars touching each side of the rack, and then back here, and I don't have 2 bars the same size, so I had to use my shorter bar. So normally you do this with 2 bars the same size, right? So these would come out and touch decking here. And you can either have somebody kind of hold these while you do them. That's what they were doing on Ron's video. Or imagine you could, grab like an exercise band or something and just tie them in a knot. But you'll notice those are, more than 33 inches up there. So you can kind of pop in the middle. And if you set your stop bars here, as high or low as you want on there, then, depending how tall you are. But it's kind of a poor man's version of the Gironda dip bars. Better than nothing if you don't have a pair of dip bars, but you can find a decent squat rack in just a couple bars. Might get you what you need. Hope that helps. Hope to see some more people doing some either Vince or Larry workouts and posting them. Let's see what you got. Thanks.